And we are live. Welcome back, MFers. Welcome in all you new peeps. I am your host of Mostly Football, Dylan Busby. With me, as always, is my co-host Nate. Nate, how you doing tonight?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good right now at the moment.
My guy. It is the draft eve. It feels like Christmas. That's why I had to post that picture today on our Facebook page of all the stockings hanging up over the fireplace. It was the night before the draft, and I just can't wait. My Super Bowl champion Eagles are sitting there at 32, and it feels like the perfect trade back spot at this point, but we'll see. A lot of things happening, a lot of storylines, a lot of narratives, a lot of draft buzz, as they say, and we'll certainly get into that. But first and foremost, what are your opening thoughts here? How's the week been? How was your Easter? How did you celebrate? How you been?
Hold on one second. All right.
Oh,
So
you have a tone for when you text?
hey, it's only when the phone's not on vibrate. Um, I didn't do anything for the Easter. My daughter's with her mom. I had the house to myself, so didn't really do much. Watched WrestleMania, enjoyed that. Um, Other than that, I mean, it was a pretty chill weekend.
Hey,
Nothing too
actually, you know what?
crazy.
Let me get a banner up because that's pretty big news. How was WrestleMania? What happened? So
I
which,
mean,
which
it
was
was great.
WrestleMania? What number was this?
41.
Okay.
I mean, I would say the biggest, probably the biggest storyline of that weekend was John Cena won his 17th world title.
Damn.
So he is now officially at the top. There's no one near him. Um, so yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. It was a pretty the 2 nights, Saturday and Sunday were both great nights. I enjoyed it. I enjoy WrestleMania every year.
And this was his
So
first WrestleMania as a heel, right?
yes, his first WrestleMania as a heel. Yes. So.
Any other
Um,
big matches, big appearances?
Stone Cold made an appearance. There, I mean, outside of just the show itself, there were nothing real major, no real major appearances. They're getting into more of the entertainment. They're having more and more entertainers, rappers, athletes show up to these events and just sit ringside. They put them on camera for a little bit, let them get their TV time. So nothing
They
too
got
crazy.
Kanye out there?
Nah, I don't think no, they didn't have
No.
Kanye.
Stone Cold came out on the four wheeler, right?
Yeah, yeah, and he was. I think he was drunk already. So, because he fucked up big time, and Stone Cold's not one to fuck up. Like he missed. So initially he missed the ramp the first time. Then he comes down the ramp, goes around the ring, and smacks the fucking barricades. I was just like, yikes! And then he starts drinking after he does whatever after he does his thing, he starts drinking and I'm just like yikes. So I just I've never seen that. So I believe he was already drunk. I do believe he was already drunk when prior to him coming out.
So Cena was the main event, or he was not?
He was the main event of night two. Night one was Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and Roman Reigns.
Oh shit! How'd that go?
Yeah, it didn't go the way I wanted it to, but it went. Yeah. It was a good match. Don't get me wrong. It was probably the match of the night. They things are a lot better with Vince gone. Just say that.
Okay.
So
So with
uh,
Punk, I mean, he had that whole thing where he tried out MMA for a little bit and then he came back and the MMA thing didn't go very well. Like, is he still like beloved amongst wrestling fans, or what's his thing?
absolutely, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely, yeah. They would chant his names for the 10 years that he was gone. So yeah, he is still a beloved person. So it's he's one of those guys that he can leave the business and people still gonna miss him.
Did any Ronda Rousey action at WrestleMania?
Oh no, they're done with her ass. All the bad mouthing she don't nobody want her ass back. They listen. Here's the fucked up thing for me.
Oh, does she do
Ronda Rousey,
AEW now?
no, she's not doing anything. Ronda Rousey used to be my crush. She was like when she was in the UFC, like she was like, listen, If she offered it, I'm taking it. This point, she can go fuck herself. I like her. I don't care. Like she's not. I don't know. I don't know. She came into WWE and just like she was cool in the beginning, but shit just went south for her, and she just I don't know. It just wasn't. I was just like, nah, I'm good with that.
I must just be seeing old reels then. I don't know why they keep popping up for me on my timeline.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I don't think she. Yeah, anything you see her, she's not doing anything as of. I mean, as far as I know, I don't think she's doing anything. So,
Okay.
but yeah, no, that was pretty much my weekend. Like I had, like I said, a pretty chill weekend. I had to work this weekend, but not too much. So,
I know this just happened in the world of sports. Something, I'm not too familiar with old Steve Mongo McMichael, but I have heard the name. I do believe I've seen him at different like Hall of Fame events, and he just passed away today,
mhm.
on April 23rd. We've got this article here from ESPN. Hall of Famer Steve Mongo McMichael, a stalwart member of the dominant Chicago famed 46 defense of the 1980s, who ranks second in franchise history with 92 and a half sacks, has died at age 67, the NFL announced Wednesday. McMichael was diagnosed with ALS, commonly known as Lou Gehrig's disease, in 2021. So, RIP to old Mongo McMichael.
Yeah,
I wish I had more to
I don't
say.
know who
I
that is.
wasn't a big fan of that, that team. My dad wasn't. I don't, like I said, I don't know much about the guy. But anytime something like that happens, I know. I forget the gentleman's name, and I should have looked it up. But the voice of Sunday Night Football also just passed away recently. So, R.I.P.
What's
to.
the name? Football. El Michaels?
No, damn it. Hang on, let me look it up here.
Who's the voice of
Mike
Who's the
Patrick.
voice of Monday Night Football? Who?
Mike. Mike
The
Patrick.
only voices I know is El Michaels and Chris Collinsworth.
It was before then.
Oh, okay. So it was before my time then.
Let me pull him up here. Good old Mike Patrick. Never forgot about him. Always remembered his name. Didn't ever forget about his name for 1 second. Mike Patrick, longtime voice of ESPN, Sunday Night Football, dies at 80.
He was 80. He was before my time then.
3 decades calling the NFL. Retired in 2018. Died of natural causes in Fairfax, Virginia. Went to GWU. RIP to Mongo and Mike Patrick. Gone too soon. 80 years young.
All right. Before we get into the show, to the meat and the potatoes of the show.
Okay.
I don't know if you remember.
I got appetizers and I got stuff like that.
I don't know if you remember the text message that I sent to you a couple weeks ago.
You don't know if I remember the text message.
Yeah. Oh, you do remember. Okay. So I have a fucking problem with this shit. And I want to give a big shout out to Tennessee for not folding on this bullshit. I am extremely happy that they didn't give in to this little fucker. Okay? He played like he didn't. I mean, the thing was your numbers were not great to begin with. So I don't understand how do you feel like you have the leverage to negotiate a new NIL deal? That's what I don't understand. How do you feel like you have the audacity to request more money and your numbers were not great if I'm not mistaken.
So he wanted what? He wanted let's just read that.
$5 million. He wanted $5 million. $5 million. Listen, nothing about him said $5 million. His stats didn't say $5 million. Nothing jumped off the table with this kid. Nothing. I honestly, this is the thing that everybody jumped on Nick Saban asked about. Nick Saban predicted this shit, and everybody was like, "Oh, you're just mad. You're a hater. You're old, blase." And look where we're at. This is just gonna be one of many. One of fucking many. I don't understand. I don't understand why he felt the need to say, you know what? Fuck Tennessee. I want more money.
Well, let's dig into this article a little bit here and see what they say. Maybe there's more to the story. Who knows? But I do agree. I do agree with you about Tennessee not giving into it and sending that message right away.
Yeah, they basically told him to go fuck himself, and I'm proud of. And I don't, and I'm not a big Tennessee fan, but I am proud of Tennessee. I'm proud of that head coach. I'm proud of them saying, you know what, go fuck yourself. Go find somewhere else to play.
So this article from ESPN.com: Why Nico Iamaleava soured on Tennessee. That's how you say it, right?
I like how they're swinging. I like how they're swinging it to say why he's sour. No, fuck that. Tennessee gave you everything you wanted. You were starting QB going into next season. You had every fucking thing you wanted. You got greedy because you saw what Carson Beck got. Here's the thing: Carson Beck is better than you, buddy. Last year was a bad season for him, but the season prior, he was head over heels better than you. I don't get why you looked at what Carson Beck was making was like, I think I can get that. No, sir. You were not even close to Carson Beck's talent at all.
So it says why he soured on Tennessee and ended up at UCLA from Chris Lowe, Max Olson, and Adam Rittenberg. 4 months before, Nico Iamaleava shocked the college football world by leaving Tennessee for UCLA. Signs of discontent were apparent. On December 28th, hours before the winter transfer portal window closed, Tennessee sources say Iamaleava's representatives, I'm going to say EU Alibaba, I like that one, including his father, Nick, reached out to the Tennessee NIL collective, Spire Sports Group, and were looking to increase Iamaleava's pay for 2025 to around $4 million. Hitting that target would put him closer to the amount eventually procured by transfer quarterbacks Carson Beck, as you mentioned, of Miami, and Darian Mensah of Duke. During the winter portal, Iamaleava was set to make around $2.4 million at Tennessee this year, sources said. So he wanted another 1.6 million.
So why do you feel this is the shit that pissed me off? Why do you feel you're as good? I don't know who the other kid is, but why do you feel you're good as Carson Beck? That's what I don't understand.
Well, so it says sources close to the quarterback deny they were seeking $4 million. Iamaleava wasn't returning phone calls from coaches at this point. Sources close to the quarterback said he needed to take a, quote, mental break following the Vols' 42-17 loss to eventual national champion Ohio State in the first round of the college football playoff, but they acknowledged that they did seriously consider entering his name in the portal.
So let me get this straight. So you play average all season. You get into the first round of the playoffs and get your shit pushed in by Ohio State. You didn't show up. What the fuck soever. Okay? Carson Beck got hurt. So if Carson Beck wasn't hurt, I think we had a chance at actually winning the game.
Yeah.
But we beat Texas to get into our position. You get your shit pushed in by Ohio State on national TV. You fucking didn't show up at all. And you felt the need to say, I am worth $4 million?
After not answering, after not communicating with the coaches.
And then you're going to say, I needed a mental break? A mental break from what, sir? You haven't been doing anything for the last 6 months. What the fuck did you need a mental break from? What was going on in your life where you were ignoring your coaches? Then they're going to say, well, it wasn't about money. Yes, it was. Yes, the fuck it was. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. UCLA needed a quarterback. This guy was a top-notch quarterback. Nobody wanted Nico. Nobody. Everybody was like, yeah, we're going to stay away from him. Everybody, when the moment he hit the transfer portal and they heard the bullshit that was coming, everybody was like, yeah, they just stayed. USC was like, yeah, we don't want him. Nobody wanted him. So he went to the team that wanted him. And that's why he got the $1.5 million. Why the fuck would you leave Tennessee to go to a extremely expensive place to live? You went to LA. Why the fuck would you go to LA? And then they only give you $1.5 million. What the
And
fuck? What?
Brady Quinn was saying something interesting too the other morning on Two Pros and a Cup of Joe. He was talking about like the intricacies of the way these different universities operate with how much they can offer. So like I guess because USC is like a more private type of school in some way, like they don't have to disclose how much they're offering their players to whereas like UCLA is a more public school, I guess, and they do have to disclose it. So that's why that I got for whatever reason, that factors in. So I guess that's something I never knew before that I know now.
This shit, that shit, and this is the problem that I'm having. I don't mind players getting paid for shit, for being in video games and being in sponsorship. I don't have a problem with that. The
Right.
problem I have is this shit. So at this point, and Cam Newton said it best. At this point, there's no more student athlete. Motherfucker, you are a play. You're an employee at this point. If I'm going to pay you, you're going to sign this contract. Because this is what I would do. Like, if you're going to come here, this is what we're going to agree on. We're going to agree on these terms. You are going to sign this contract saying you're going to play whatever the fuck I say you're going to play. You're going to play the 12 games that we got, and you're going to play in the bowl games. There is no more opting out. There is no opting out. I'm paying you to play football. So if we're in some bullshit bowl game, you're going to play in this bullshit bowl game. Period. It's just that simple. This is the issue that I'm having with the NIL is that they've given these players too much fucking freedom. If you want to get paid to play football, guess what? You're gonna sign this contract, and you're gonna be now your ass really belongs to me. You're gonna do what the fuck I said. So there's no more opting out of I don't want to play. I want to prepare for the draft. Nope, ain't none of that. You want to play for 3 years? You're gonna sign this contract for 3 fucking years. We're gonna come to a term of how much NIL you're gonna get, and that's fucking it. We're not renegotiating anything. I don't give a shit what the next man's getting. What we negotiate for you as a freshman is what you're gonna get through. We may revisit it your junior year. If you decide to say I'm gonna stay all 4 years, yeah, we might revisit it your junior year and see if we can bump you up a little bit. But as for fucking now, if you're gonna do 3 years, you're gonna get this money and you're gonna shut the fuck up. It's just that simple. This shit is ruining college. There are coaches that are quitting, and the landscape of college, the landscape in general for sports, college wise, this shit's fucked up. Like I saw an article, it was like they think that the NIL is going to ruin day 3, basically. Like basically 2 and 3, like the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th round. Like they think that it's going to ruin it because a lot of guys are gonna be like, well, shit, if I'm gonna be a 3rd round pick, I might as well just stay in college and see if I can get my draft stock up.
Right.
And for me personally, I mean, I don't mind it, but the NCAA has to put regulations on this shit. They have to figure out a way to do this shit. That transfer portal shit, they got to put a cap on that shit. Like if we're gonna do transfer portal, you can only do that shit after the season. You can't do that shit in between. I don't give a fuck what's going on. You cannot hit the transfer portal mid-season or during a bowl game. You can't do it. You can't fucking do it.
Well, and the problem too is it's like, I don't blame these kids for having agents and representatives, and they're young and they don't know the ins and outs and the intricacies of the finance game and all that stuff. So that's fine. But man, like even in this article, you can tell like they didn't get a single quote from Iamaleava. It's all like sources close to him, representatives. Like, if there's such a gap between you and the actual person you're dealing with, that can be problematic too.
Extremely.
Especially when those people are getting a cut. They want as much as they can get.
Yeah. And at this point, this kid is gonna even if he didn't have anything to do with this, it's his face. It's his name. Now you're gonna look like a selfish ass player. Which in my opinion, you are a fucking selfish player. Because if it was for me personally, if it wasn't me and if it was my agent, I'm telling my agent to shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck fuck up. Let me do my job. I want to be here in Tennessee. You're not gonna fuck shit up for me because we want more money. You're not gonna fuck shit up for me, and then now my face is plastered all over ESPN and Bleacher and every other sports fucking app out there, and I look terrible.
So this says multiple sources at Tennessee told ESPN that Iamaleava missed 2 offseason workouts in February, that his father told Tennessee coaches that Iamaleava's attorney advised him to skip workouts until he worked things out with Spire. Iamaleava's camp
Who the fuck is Spire?
the absence was over a payment issue with Spire.
Who the fuck is Spire?
I think that's his NIL group.
So you missed. So not only did you miss a couple workouts, you also missed the spring game. So now we're gonna do what do you like? Here's the bad thing about this. In college, this ain't like the NFL. You know, if Patrick Mahomes say, you know what, I'm not gonna participate until I get a new contract. The Kansas City Chiefs are gonna do what they can to get him a new contract because they don't want him to hold out. But that doesn't show it don't work like that in college. There's millions of kids out there that they can go grab off the street or they can go grab from some shit D3 school that wants to play. And guess what? It is what it is. They're gonna make money one way or the other. So that holding out shit, I'm not okay. Well, guess and this is why I'm so happy with Tennessee did what they did. They did not set a fucking precedent for bowing down to that bullshit. Because if they'd allowed him to do that shit, it'd have set a really bad precedent for college.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I don't know if you saw what I was just reading there, but it said those close to Iamaleava also said that they were disappointed that like Tennessee wasn't making more efforts to show off the offensive line and get more weapons and stuff. So it's like, yeah, I mean, you're already talking
like the NFL.
Yeah.
This isn't the NFL. What are you talking about? This is not the NFL, dude. Like people have to want to come here. We can't just go sign motherfuckers off the street. People gotta want to transfer here. If no one's transferring here, or if there's only a shit ton of skill positions in the transfer portal and very little offensive alignment in the ones that are in there aren't worth damn, I'm not going to spend my money or time to go get them. That's stupid. You're an idiot. Get the fuck out of here, man. Get the fuck out of here, man. Tennessee, I applaud them. I applaud Tennessee for not backing down to that jackass and his representative. UCLA just likes UCLA needs attention. That's why they took him. They need the attention because going into next season, that's all people are gonna talk about. Is he used to play for Tennessee and the drama with this, yada yada yada. If he plays back, my thing is this: if you're concerned about the offensive lineman, why the fuck would you go to UCLA? Yeah. What made you think like, UCLA got a good offensive? What ask Drake May how good that offensive line is. Man,
right.
Ask Drake May or ask the quarterback that played for them last year. Ask them how good that offensive line is, and then we'll have a conversation. Get the fuck out of here, man. The thing is, they thought that they could hold Tennessee hostage. Tennessee was like, you go eat a bag of dicks. We'll move on to the next guy. And that's what happened. And the funny thing is, the guy that was at UCLA transferred to Tennessee.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's what I was going to bring up too. That's so funny.
So I'm like, we got our quarterback either way. So you can enjoy being in UCLA, enjoy being average, okay? Because that's what you're going to be. You're going to be average. Why would you transfer from an SEC school? Like, I can see if you transfer to like USC or maybe Ohio State, Michigan, some schools that get a lot of national recognition. You went to UCLA, sir.
Well, I mean, at this
basketball
point,
school.
But he only had so many options. Once that
he didn't. Nobody wanted him.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So it's not like he could go to those schools. Only a few teams were even interested. So,
man, more power to that kid. But you got to. This is the problem that I have. It is if you're gonna be in this, make sure you get people around you that has your best interest
Yeah.
at heart.
Yeah.
Listen, if my dad was no, like if you don't have my best interest, you got to get the fuck out. It's holy shit. Wait, whoa. What's going on here?
Hey,
That was not the score when I turned the game. The game it was like 20 points, bro. It was like a 20-point game.
holy moly.
What
Nate
the
here, and for
bro?
those of you just listening, we are referring to in game 2 in the East Finals. The Cavaliers only up by 2 points on the Heat after a real rally comeback from Miami here.
Bro, they were at one point they were down 20. That's why I didn't watch the game. They were down fucking 20.
Let's see here. Box score. That's not what I wanted.
Yeah, you gotta do summary. It might give it to you. Nope, it's not. No.
Game chart.
Yeah,
Damn it.
no, I think that's just a shot chart. No, that's just play by play. The box score should have been the one that gave you everything.
God damn it.
The NBA app's trash. That's why I don't use it. It's super garbage.
Yeah, what the hell?
So these man, see that's the garbage part about fucking NBA app. All right, here we go. I got it. So is everything just the fuck? They're just giving me deep stats. Nope. Game cats.
We'll get this.
Same thing. This is bullshit. It's none of it is there. All stats. How about that?
There we go. All right, back here.
I mean,
so earlier,
it's not. They were down at one point. They were down. At one point, they were down 20. I'm telling you, it was like 70 something to 55. Like they were down fucking 20.
that was some entertaining. Like it wasn't totally dead air. Like we were keeping the noise going, but that was a little entertaining stretch there of figuring out shit, and we didn't figure it out.
No, yeah. So at one point, like I said, when I turned the game on, it was like Miami had 55, Cleveland had, so they were up damn near 20. For this man, Cleveland. This is one of the reasons why people don't trust Cleveland because of shit like this. Because Miami's garbage. Ever since them losing Jimmy Butler, they have been absolute dog water, just complete dog shit. But here we are, y'all. Cleveland. Nobody believes in Cleveland.
Got Donovan Mitchell scoring 20 points, 6 rebounds, 6 assists. Tyler Hero, 29 points, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Earlier, we had the Celtics defeating the Orlando Magic 109-100. Boston leads that series 2-0. And right now, just in quarter one, 9:48 to go. Golden State losing to the Rockets, currently down by 3, 4-7. Golden State leads this series 1-0.
Yeah. Curry went bananas last game. He was hitting shit that he shouldn't have been hitting. But hey, we're gonna see if he can do it again this game. So, dude, these playoffs have been a bit interesting. The Lakers are tied with the Timberwolves. Denver's tied with the Clippers. There's a couple 1-1 series right now, and it's gonna get very, very interesting. You know what's funny? Here's the funny. Let me ask you a question.
Ask me.
Do you know who Luka Doncic is?
Oh, do I? My God, I love him.
Okay. All right. So you've never lived in Texas, ever, right?
Nope.
You've never lived in Dallas.
All my exes live in Texas, but not me.
You've always like seen shit from afar, right?
I have been to Dallas one time.
How important do you think, just from somebody who's never lived in Texas, how important do you think Luka Doncic was to the city of Dallas?
From the outside looking in, he seemed like a star player that I would want to keep in that city.
Do you think he still has the same status as Dirk?
No.
Close to it.
Yeah.
Okay. Guess what dumbass Nico said?
I heard it. Yeah, I heard it.
on national TV, okay, national TV, and said these exact words. I didn't know to what extent Luka Doncic meant to this city. Sir, you're getting death threats. You have to have security with you at basketball games. Why would you continue to spew bullshit out of your mouth? Eh? Why? Why do you keep Charles Barkley said it best? He was like, stop doing interviews. Keep your mouth closed. Just stop it. Just I don't why the fans already hate you, right? They hate you. They despise you. You are public enemy number one in Dallas. You can't go to Walmart. You can't go to Whole Foods. You can't go to Sprouts. God damn it! Without bodyguard, there's just no way you cannot walk around the city of Dallas. And for you to say something like that, stupid, on national TV with cameras in your face and say, "Wow, I just didn't know how important, sir." They threatened to kill you. You're getting death threats, sir. What do you mean you didn't know? You gotta know, dude. You gotta read the room. You have to read the fucking room. And he didn't read the room. And he allowed that. Dallas are listen to me. The Dallas fans are they, they want this man's head on a spike, dude. They want his head on a fucking spike. And he keeps saying stupid shit. Now you got an off season to figure shit out because Kyrie might not be back to early January.
Damn.
And that's being generous. You tear your ACL, at least in the NFL, if you tear your ACL, you got a good year. You can be back, you can be ready by training camp or
Right.
maybe week one. He tore his shit too late in the season. He might not be back until early January, maybe after the All-Star break. And then you gotta look at it like where are we gonna be at as a team?
Right.
Anthony Davis limped off the court last game. He limped off the court. He was holding his knee, limping off the court. Oh, sir,
Not street clothes.
street clothes. Yes, sir. You're in hot water. I think it's best if you just shut the fuck up. I think the only thing that's gonna fix this if they can somehow get KD to Dallas. But it's he is. I thought the GMs for Cleveland, the Jets, the Giants. Hell, I mean the Giants one. He was the dumbest GM of all time. Nico is there. Nico has surpassed that GM from New York Giants. Nico is there. Nico is the dumbest GM of all time.
It's not very often you get to talk about two different Nikos on the same episode.
No, it's not. But both of them are stupid. But this one, this Nico, he's a dude. You are the worst GM. Like you traded a generation of talent for street clothes and Max Christie in a first-round draft pick. That's all. I'm sorry, bro. If the Lakers somehow manage to win a championship this year, it's over for him. They're going to crucify him. They're going to take him to the middle of Dallas and hang him from across. They're going to crucify his ass. If Luka Doncic wins the title this season, you might as well go ahead and pack it up. Hand in your resignation letter, sir. Because it's a done deal. It is a done fucking deal at this point.
I like that. I like that comparison to Joe Shane. So the whole deal was that like they thought they just didn't like him, right? Like he wasn't.
They said so. Here's what they said about the reason why they traded him. They said that he was fat, lazy, out of shape. He had a lot of unhealthy habits. He didn't play defense. Cool. So here's what Luka Doncic did to prove them. First game they played in LA, he dropped a triple double on them. First game in Dallas, he put 45 on his fucking head. 31 in the first half. So you're telling me this man who averaged 33, 9, and 9 last season for you was fat and out of shape. I'm good. If that's out of shape, you know what? I'm screwed.
But did he play
I
any
can't give you
defense?
30. I can't give you 30. I could barely give you 2 points again. You're talking about this man was giving you 39, 9, and 9. And you're talking about he's fat and out of shape? Cool. That's fine. That's perfectly fine. Because now you're at home and he's still in the playoffs.
And hopefully Nico Collins doesn't do anything stupid down there in Houston. And Nico's got to stay out of there.
He's got the Nico's killing me, man. I don't know, man. I felt like it because I guess he had it because Luca did an interview and he basically apparently he's still using the phone that he threw against the wall when he found out he was being traded.
Nice.
But yeah,
those Razors can take a beating. I know that.
Nico Harrison is not probably he is the most hated person in Dallas at this point. Hell, in Texas, I think at this point in Texas, he's probably the most hated person in Texas.
Damn.
Because this shit, outside of San Antonio and Houston, I think they probably don't give a fuck. But I think everybody else is like, you sir are a fucking moron.
More so than Beto O'Rourke.
Yeah. I would definitely believe he's probably up there in his hatred because you can't. They tried to justify trading a 25-year-old player away for a guy that's 31 and Max Christie in a first-round draft pick.
Luka's only 25.
He just turned 26.
Yeah, he doesn't look a day over 37.
He's been in the league 7 years, sir. He spent all 7 years in Dallas, and you treat him like that? That's crazy to me.
Staying in the world of the NBA on ESPN.com, Judge drops teen suit against Ja Morant, cites self-defense. You heard about this
Ja
one,
Morant, dude. At least Ja Morant, he's getting a break at this point because Ja Morant needed a break. He needed something. Like he was the NBA was up his ass. So him getting this shit dropped, I think at this point he needed it. He needed something good because the way the playoffs is going for him, they got beat by 50 game one, and then they got beat by I think double figures last night. So he needs some good news right at this point.
From the Associated Press, we have a judge has dismissed a lawsuit filed by a teenager who accused two-time NBA All-Star Ja Morant of punching him during a pickup game at the home of the Memphis Grizzlies guard's parents in 2022. Shelby County Circuit Judge Carol Chumney issued an order Monday dismissing the lawsuit, saying in her ruling that Morant acted in self-defense and was immune from civil liability in the suit filed by Joshua Holloway, who plays basketball for Stanford University and just completed his sophomore season.
Oh, you playing for Oh, he's a bum. That's why he did it. He ain't a starter. He's not a starter. Because if he's a starter, he probably would just ate that shit and be like, I'm
Sounds
going
like
to
they're
leave.
cousins. He's like, hey, come over to my parents' house and we'll punch each other during basketball. That's what I did with my cousin. Let's see here. Oh, you're gonna like this one. That's right. I'm glad we're finally getting to this one. Oh, let's take a quick look. Okay. Got 25 seconds left. The Heat are down 108 to 115. Doesn't look promising.
No, that's I think it's probably and I think it's gone at this point. So did you hear about
Normally on this show, I like to use big sources. I go to ESPN.com and NFL.com and Sports Illustrated, all these different big old sites that have been around forever, just read from the Associated Press. But from time to time, you find an article that has everything you need in it, and it's from a place you didn't really expect it to be from. And this is the case here. So the Times of India. Have you heard of it?
The who?
The Times of India.
No, never heard that.
Well, I was looking up our boy, Shay Shay. And
Oh
the Times of
God.
India had the most. I knew as soon as you saw it. That's the most extensive article that I found. It's got everything I needed.
I
So
am tired.
before I dive in here, why don't you go ahead and just give me your opening thoughts on this one?
Oh God. I didn't know about any of this until like a couple days ago. So he posted like something on Twitter, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" So I popped on, and his like text messages from whoever this chick is that's suing him. She is like vulgar. She's asking for some vulgar shit. But here's what got me. Here's what made me giggle. She said, "Can you put a big black baby in me?" That was one. That was two. She sent it twice. Okay, she sent that message twice. She referred to. She asked Shannon Sharp if he could put a big black baby in her. I was like, that shit made me laugh. I was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why would you put that? Why would you text that to? Why not just say a baby? Why it has to be big and black? I don't understand. I didn't understand the
Oh,
context behind said that, but
would have been even better if the next message was like specifically 11 pounds, 6 ounces, something like that.
she asked for some fucked up shit. She asked him to do some fucked up shit, and it's here. Let me see if I can find it. I'm gonna see if I can find exact those text messages
Oh yeah, you're good.
because the shit
I'll get
because
into
the
here real
shit
quick while
she
you're doing that. So from the Times of India, Shannon Sharp faces a civil lawsuit in Nevada alleging sexual assault, battery, and emotional distress. The plaintiff claims a pattern of coercion and abuse during their relationship, seeking over $50 million in damages. Sharp denies the allegations, asserting the relationship was consensual and accusing the plaintiff of a, quote, cash grab, with leaked videos and audio adding complexity to the case.
okay.
You got those sex? Oh, God.
I forgot. This shit might get us in trouble, but I'm
So
gonna
here
read
we
them
go,
anyway.
folks. The night we finally get
So
banned from YouTube, we're going over to Rumble, so just be aware.
so
We got
here's
rock
so one of
band.
the so one of the one this is one of the first text messages that was released by his lawyer. Um, it states, and I quote, "I want you to put a dog collar on my neck and choke me with it while you're fucking." Okay,
Ugh.
that's the first one. And here's another one that she said. She said, "I know you missed this big juicy ass. 25,000 for each cheek."
I mean, whoa. Good Lord.
Yes. Hold on. Let me get to these. Let me get to my favorite ones.
Man,
So
Shannon and fucking, I mean, he doesn't have to throw around as much money as Skip Bayless, but these guys just tossing around with these ladies.
I'm telling you, this shit's going to get really vulgar. So she said, "Only if you put that baby gravy in me, then I can do whatever I want to. Then you can do whatever you want to me." Okay, that's one. And then here's another one. It says, "I want to put my tongue in your asshole and then marry you."
Okay, now we're talking.
And then she's like, "That's my daddy fuck. I want you to put a big black baby in me."
Oh, man.
This shit gets worse.
Gets worse. Any woman who says baby gravy is already going straight to hell.
She said, "You better crave it because you're gonna be stuck with it for life after you put a big black baby in me." That's the second time she refers to said things. So yeah, those are just some of the text messages that they released. There's
I wish
more.
wish you would have done it like a Fat Albert voice, like "Howdy ho, put a big fat black baby in me."
Listen to me, man. Listen, whatever she thought she had is not gonna work. That shit is she's done. She's,
I mean,
she's not getting that money.
she could always claim those were altered.
Yeah, I know. Those are not. Those. Listen, those are very.
Your Honor.
And she's 19 now. Mind you, she's 19.
Oh God.
She's 19. and she does OnlyFans. So
I'm going to go out on a limb here, Nate, and say that the father was not present growing up.
I would agree. I would 100% agree. But yeah, I mean, I've never heard a woman use such vulgarity.
Baby gravy.
Baby gravy. Yeah, I've never heard that one. I've never heard a woman use that word before. Never heard that used. That's just, she's something else.
So here's.
Oh, was she 20?
Gabby Zuniga.
Yeah, she's not cute. No idea what attracted him to her. Yeah, she built like Iron Board. I don't know what attracted him to her. Like her face is very average.
Well, you know, not every woman's gonna take that baby gravy, you know. Not every woman's gonna shove their tongue up your ass.
She's very average. There's nothing special about her. But Shannon Sharpe, apparently, he was like, you know what? But he's come out with a couple statements.
We gotta play this.
Yeah, no, go ahead, play.
To my family, friends, supporters, and colleagues, I want to speak to you directly.
Pause it really quick.
This is a shakedown.
Here's what bothered me about this. If you're gonna do something like this, memorize it. Like, read the shit first. Rehearse the shit. You're an entertainer. Rehearse the shit first, so it don't look like you're reading a fucking teleprompter.
It's like you know how you got your local radio ads? You can click like the local landscaper is like, call me Dale Grogan's at Dale's Landscape.
Yeah, like it looks so staged. Like just fucking rehearse it first. You don't even have to say all the extra shit. Just rehearse. Just say, look, this is a fucking shakedown. That's what's happening to me right now. This is a shakedown. This bitch is trying to get me for my money. I just signed this big ass contract, and this bitch want money. Period. How much trouble you can get into for calling her a bitch multiple times?
I don't think very much trouble.
I'm going to be open, transparent, and defend myself because this isn't right. This is all being orchestrated.
I'm going to say that I like pizza very much and throwing nunchucks around.
I hate that it's all to his right. Because he can't hate that like why you can't center that shit. Center it so it doesn't look like he's reading something. Like put the bitch in front of him. Put it behind the camera on top of the camera.
Black men. And I
hold on. He just said something there that caught my ear.
This is all being orchestrated by Tony Buzbee, who has targeted Jay-Z. Tony Buzbee targets black men, and I believe he's going to release a 30-second clip of a sex tape that tries to make me look guilty and play into every stereotype you could possibly imagine.
What's he holding like a bucket of chicken while he's banging this chicken?
So the video is I guess it's like a.
He's like,
here's what I don't.
I can't swim.
Here's what I don't understand. This is what I don't understand. Right? How the fuck are we gonna make a video and I don't have a copy of said video? You can kiss my ass. I'm not going to make a video with you, and I'm not gonna have a copy of the video. You high as a motherfucker. No, if we make this video, bitch, I want a copy of it, or you not. We gonna delete this shit. It ain't gonna never happen. So basically, what he's saying is, so they I guess they had a sex tape and they edited it. They cut it down to like 30 seconds and they edited it to where it seems like he was sexually assaulting her or doing some fucked up shit to her. And that's what he's referring to, the 30-second video.
Well, he said, and I just want to make clear, by the way, no relation between me and this guy, Tony Buzbee. I've never heard of this guy, never seen this guy.
You sure? You sure he's not a cousin of yours?
Yeah, Uncle Tony. I've never met him before. But apparently he went after Jay-Z, and I remember him from the Deshaun Watson case, too. This guy really he attacks blacks men. What the hell?
Hey, man, listen. You got to get in where you fit in.
I don't get what he meant by makes every stereotype you could imagine, though. Let me go back.
I think it's more of showing that black men are abusive and blah, blah, blah.
Oh, okay.
She's a white lady.
And played into every stereotype you could possibly imagine.
Gotcha.
That video should actually be 10 minutes or so. Hey, Tony, instead of releasing your edit, put the whole video out.
Dude.
I don't have it, or I would myself.
I don't have it. That's the shit that pissed me off when I watched this video. That is the shit that pissed me the fuck off. Sir, you are a multi-millionaire. Why the fuck do you not have a sex tape, sir, that you're in? Why do you not have a copy of that sex tape, sir?
Also, I love the subtle brag there. He's like, actually, that video should be 10 minutes long. I mean, we were going into the wee hours of the night. We were burning the midnight oil, you know what I'm saying?
I don't understand as a man, there's no way I'm making a video and I'm not receiving a copy of that video. I don't give a fuck if it's for your OnlyFans or not. Bitch, I want a copy of this video. There's no fucking way that you're going to keep this video because there's at any point you can do like this situation, you can edit it and make this shit look fucked up on my end.
Well, this little freaky girl, she's an OnlyFans girl, so she's probably used to shooting things like this and having it on her camera or whatever on her phone.
There's no way. There's no way I'm leaving this arrangement without a copy of said video. You better figure out how to download that. I want a copy because this is what happens now. Now you're a jackass because again, it doesn't matter if you say, well, it's edited or not. You don't have proof that it's edited at all. So if they take this shit to court and they show this in front of a jury, guess the fuck what, sir? You look like an idiot.
Here's what I have to know. Does this lower the price of Shannon Sharpe on Cameo?
I doubt it. I highly doubt it. I highly doubt that it's going to lower the price.
I could really use, a good intro for the show, and I just think a Shannon Sharpe on clearance would be pretty sweet.
I don't know. I don't know.
You know what happens? You're trying to manipulate the media. The encounter in question took place during the day at her invitation, and now that appears to be a deliberate setup, coordinated by Gabby, also known as Carly on OnlyFans. Gabby and Tony Busby want $50 million. What they're getting is sued for defamation.
So her name's
Here's
Gabby,
what I don't get.
look like Carly.
Here's what I don't understand. Right? Out of all the women in the world, right? Why the fuck would you want an OnlyFans girl? I don't. That's something that just blows my mind. Is like, listen, I get, as a content creator, as they call themselves. I'm not saying, you're not going to have a relationship or anything. I understand. I'm not saying that. I just don't understand men who are just like, you know what? I would date her. Sir, why? Because you see why? I don't get it.
He doesn't seem like the type of guy to go to a strip club and be like, I think this chick really likes me.
I believe he is. So he would be in this fucking situation. This is the thing, like, age is age. As long as she's of age and consent, it is what it is. Me as a father, I don't know if I would let my 18-year-old daughter date a 54-year-old man. I'd probably have a problem with it. I would have a problem with it. But why? 19?
19. You remember that blues song? You ever hear that? She's 19.
Fucking 19? Like,
and trying to
20?
keep me down. My career is all about real talk and honesty. I know my family and fans know exactly what this is about. And I'm going to be out there telling you whatever I need to say, just like I always do. I love all you guys. Thanks.
This shit was so I hate that this wasn't a real thing. Because listen to me, I'm gonna crash out. Period. You put me in front of a camera, I'm gonna crash out. I'm not finna to sit here and be poised. This bitch is trying to ruin my name. I'm gonna crash out. There, you're gonna see the real me. I'm not finna to sit here in this bullshit suit. No, I'm gonna crash out. I'm gonna put this camera in front of my face. I'd fucking go live. I'm gonna crash out in front of everybody. Like, I'm going to crash the fuck out. This bitch is trying to ruin my name. She gonna find out the hard way. I'm gonna make sure that she don't get to shake a piece of ass without me getting a piece of whatever she makes. Period. I'm going to ruin your life. the 20, and I'm going to own your shit for the rest of your life.
$25K per cheap.
I'm taking all that. I'm taking. You won't be able to make money without me, without giving me a cut. Period. I'm going to ruin your life. I'm going to make an example out of you.
That message brought to you by Nate. Let's move on from a good old Shay Shay and get into something a little more close to home for you, Nate. A little bit of draft buzz right as we enter the meat and potatoes, as they say, of this show. We're talking NFL draft, and from
there's so many mock drafts, bro. It's
the Around the NFL staff, latest league news, rumors, and Wednesday ahead of Thursday's round 1. And here's what we have first. Kirk Cousins was at the Falcons facility on Tuesday for the start of the team's voluntary offseason workout program, but his future in Atlanta is anything but certain.
So here's the issue that the Falcons has proposed to other teams is they want whoever takes him to pay $20 million of his guaranteed money. So they want them to take that contract and then pay the $20 million worth of guaranteed money. Because what that's going to do, I think it's going to take about. I think it's going to put us at about 60 something of dead cap rather than 80.
Damn.
So I think that's what they're looking for. But at this point, my guy, no. Well, Kirk Cousins shit the bed the last half of the season, so I just don't see that happening. I really don't see that happening.
With me, like I understand, people are still saying Cleveland, and it just feels like that Flacco signing. I understand, Flacco didn't exactly end the season on a high note, with the Colts, but it just feels like once they signed him, they kind of closed the door. What's that?
Flacco don't have no big ass contract, and he just signed Myles Garrett. I don't think they're gonna be able to afford to have Kirk Cousins come in there, especially with paying what I think it's $180 million, with 100 of it guaranteed. Nah, no.
So now we're at a point where it's like, okay, Tennessee's taking Cam Ward, the Giants have Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, and Cleveland seems to be waiting for next year with quarterbacks. So. Man,
the Raiders are probably going to take Shador if he falls to them. But since we last talked, a lot of people are saying the Saints for Shador.
Well, I'm thinking maybe if Derek Carr's shoulders not good or whatever, if he's really banged up, maybe the Saints could be.
They say he hurt again.
That could be a destination for Cousins. I mean, it's a division rival, but
I mean, you saw what I'm not afraid of him. He shit the bed the last half of the season. I'm okay with that.
Be right back.
I honestly just believe that if they take Shador, I think that's a risk, especially because you don't have a lot of weapons. Your offensive line is somewhat okay. Your run game is not great. Alvin Kamara is aging. I don't know. I believe a lot of people believe that Shador is that guy, and I just don't see it. If you go to a black barbershop, they believe in Shador. I don't believe in Shador because he had Travis Hunter and he had a good receiving corps. If he ends up with the Saints don't have a great receiving corps.
Right.
They just signed they re-signed Brandon Cooks. Who is their top guy? Their top guy is with Chris Olave. That he one concussion away from retiring. So he's one hospital ball away from I gotta clean this shit up.
Yeah, and I mean I don't think that they have. He could dump it off he could dump it off to Kamara, and they could do. I'm sure Kellen Moore would have creative ways to use him. But I heard from Todd McShay, who, and I'm glad when these guys who they wore suits and they were on ESPN and NFL and stuff, and now they got their own YouTube channels and they just wear a hoodie and do a podcast and shit. I love it. And I think he may have a drinking problem. I don't know. He's a little bit puffier than he used to be. But anyway, he said that Shador Doesn't seem likely at 9 for the Saints, and even at 40, he doesn't think the Saints would take him. So I don't know if
I don't.
his
I
traits
don't
or
think he's again. Like my belief is, I think he's gonna fall to day 2, possibly day 3. I don't think he's gonna go to day 3. He definitely for sure he's gonna be a second or third round guy. I don't see him falling. If he falls to fucking day 3, we need to know why.
yeah.
But if he falls to like day 2, I can see him being a second or third round because the hype around him it's not the greatest. I didn't see a lot from him. I don't know if he was in the top. Was he top 10 last year in passing yards? I don't even think he was top 10 in passing yards.
I have to look it up. But what did you think about that quote that came out? I think it was like an NFL, it was like an assistant head coach said that during the interview process, during that whole time, he talked to him and that, Shador just came off and he said it was like the worst formal interview he's ever done and that Shador made him feel small. Like, what did you think? What do you think about that quote from an NFL assistant head coach?
I can see that. I can see that. I
Okay,
can
so
see.
you're on the side of you could just see him acting that way.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. I can see that. I can see him. I can see him acting that way because of who his dad is. I
Okay.
believe. I believe. Here's the thing. He is Dion. Period. He's Deion Sanders, and I mean that in every way, good and bad. Athletic. He's very athletic. He knows the game, but he also has Deion's attitude. He has Deion's cockiness. He has Deion. He's Deion Sanders, and and because of the bullshit hype that Colorado got when he went there, they believe that he is that guy, and I don't believe he is. I believe Jackson Dart might be better than he is. I believe Quinn Ewers is better than he is. I think there's a lot of guys. Cam Ward is for sure better than he is. Head over fucking heels better than him. I wouldn't risk my future in the first round for Shador. No, I wouldn't do that. Like he didn't show me enough.
See, because the other side of that was LeVar Arrington was saying this morning that even if Shador has that type of attitude for a grown man who's an assistant head coach in the NFL to say that 21, 22-year-old kid made him feel small, maybe that's more on that guy and like his own. Maybe he's got more problems of his own to fix than like worrying about this kid making him feel small. So I guess that like it was like you're gonna have to deal with personalities in the NFL. Basically, was the message. Like some guys get to where they are because they have that mentality and that attitude.
Sure. Here's the thing. You're gonna have to deal with shit like that. But if you're talking about a rookie, a guy who hadn't done shit, he ain't not even a rookie yet. He ain't even been drafted. You're talking about a guy who hasn't done absolutely shit yet, and he makes you feel like that. Yeah, absolutely. That's a problem for me.
Well, so
All right. So no, go ahead.
Well, I guess too. Another good point about that was LeVar said, Shador is getting this attention because of Deion, but Cam Ward, if you talk to Cam Ward is equally like confident, borderline arrogant in himself, but Cam Ward has the traits, to back up what he's talking. So, and Colin Cowherd, your boy, who I can't stand, brought up another one of your boys, Cam Newton. He's like, everyone knew that Cam Newton had a flamboyant personality and he was going to be, all about Cam, but at the same time, he had such undeniable traits, and the play on the field was just so exceptional.
No, see, that's the difference. There's a difference between Cam Newton, Cam Ward, and fucking Shador. Shador has this bravado that he can't be touched. He thinks that he's the best shit walking, right? So he again, he's his dad. He's his father. His dad, when Dion played, he was like, "Can't nobody touch me. Can't nobody touch. Can't nobody do shit to me." I don't think Shador is that good. So I finally got what I was looking for. So looks like Shador was top 4 in passing last
Okay.
year. He completed 74% of his passes, which is, I mean, it's better than the guys that are ahead of him.
It is really good, but I also follow that up by saying they threw a lot of screens.
Exactly. So there's a lot of screens that help. So here's the thing. So he was sacked. You hear this part? He was sacked 42 times.
Yeah.
The guys in front of him, 27, 22, 28. That's a fucking problem. He was sacked 40. Sacked 42
offensive line. It is a problem with your offensive line, but like what you're saying about him being Dion's son does play into that too, because he thinks he can escape situations that he can't. When he's rolling out,
he holds the ball way too goddamn long.
Right. Yeah.
So I think for me, I know a lot of people are going to be hyped for him. I'm not high on him. Kyle McCord, I'm a little bit more high on him. I don't think he's a day one guy. But
I love it, but I wasn't expecting that. Cuse, let's go, Cuse.
I mean, you look at it. I mean, here's the guys that are ahead of him as far as like. So Kyle McCord, Cam Ward, Jackson Dart, and then Nussmeier's next, Will Howard, and then the guy for TCU, and then Dillon Gabriel.
Hey.
I think Dillon Gabriel is better than Shador.
Will Howard and Dillon Gabriel are two names that are going to be real interesting to watch in this draft for sure.
I think those guys are better. I think those guys are better quarterbacks than Shador is. Here's the thing. I don't see electric when I look at Shador.
Right.
I don't. He's not mobile. He doesn't know when it's time to pull it and run. And he's slow. He's not very fast. He's not very fast for a guy his size. Right. Like you would expect him to be very nimble. Cam Ward is a guy he can get up and go, and he can still throw the ball. I don't see that with Shador. I don't think Shador has that internal clock to like, all right, shit's breaking down. It's time for me to go. Think about it. If he goes to the Giants, he probably won't play with the Giants.
Right.
Because you got Russell Wilson and you got James Winston. It'd be a while before he get a chance to play. If he goes somewhere like the Saints and he has to be a starter,
right?
You saw what happened when they put what's his name in there, the kid from Oklahoma.
Yeah,
that shit ended bad.
Yeah,
and you're talking about a guy who holds the ball, who doesn't have an internal clock, and you're going in the NFL. Like you're not. Ask Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams learned the hard way. You can't do all that NCAA mad shit that you do on the game. You can't do that shit in the NFL. That shit's gonna get you put down hard. And Caleb Williams found out the hard way. And I think Shador's gonna find out the hard way. He's gonna get put in a situation that he's not gonna be prepared for. Because if I'm the Giants, I have Russ. If Travis Hunter is right there, taking Travis Hunter.
Right. Yeah.
I'm pairing him with Malik Neighbors, and now I got Travis Hunter, and now I got Russell Wilson. Because I believe Tennessee is going to tell what's his name to kick rocks. They're going to take Cam Ward.
I totally agree. I think even I'm not sure where I am as far as Jackson Dart, but I do think as far as like traits go and the way it could work out, I would take Jalen Milroe over Shador Sanders.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He's faster. He's more athletic. He has that strong arm. Accuracy we can work on the accuracy a little bit, but that comes with time. That comes with teaching and learning the game. So I don't know. And again, people he had 74% completion. Yeah, if 90% of your offense was fucking screens, yeah, I would go 74% too. And plus, if you had fucking Travis Hunter on your team, you can just throw the ball down the field and he gonna catch it. Yeah, that makes sense. You can make 74% of your completion. But I think that number's skewed. I really do. Because if you look at it between Shedeur, Will Howard, Dylan Gabriel, there's a kid named McLeod from Texas State. They're the only players, and there's another guy from Fresno that are in the top 50 that threw 70 plus that has 70 plus completion rate.
Gotcha. So there's a few other guys.
So yeah, it's them and a few, but everybody else is like 60, 65 hovering around there, which is I feel like normal. But I mean, if you're not throwing the ball down the field, or if you're getting sacked 90% of the time, yeah, if I throw 10 passes and I complete 8 of them and I'm getting sacked the rest of the game, yeah, I'm gonna look great.
Oh, so after pouring it on and bashing him for as long as we have, two things that I do really like about Shedeur. He is tough as hell. I mean, with all the shots that he's taken and the sacks that he's endured, I mean, he's tough as hell.
Yeah, you can't take that from him. Yeah, that's one thing I believe he's going to be probably one of the league's Ironmen, because I mean, if you can get your ass whooped in college for 3-4 years and still come up walking, there was one game where he was just, I'm like, damn, like at least they can put Vaseline on or something. Like he was getting hurt. I was like, is he going to be able to walk after this?
Yeah,
but I mean, at this point, I mean, he might survive a bad offensive line in the league.
And then the second thing is that I heard today, his turnover-worthy plays, like the amount of times he puts the ball into dangerous territory, is very low. Like he's super conservative with the ball. He takes care of the ball, so that's
because he gets sacked. What do you mean? Yes, he protects the ball because he's eating it most of the time.
But the passes that he attempts, I think that's what that category covers too. Like the turnover-worthy plays, like that he almost fumbled, that he almost threw an interception. He doesn't. He's very smart about the way he uses the football, takes care of the football.
Yeah,
and it's not going to be a team we're thinking of. It's going to be a team like the Colts. It's going to be a team like the Vikings. It's going to be a team that were like, what the fuck? They and then it's like, yeah, we're gonna bring him in, and he fell, to the fucking 30s or whatever, and we decided to trade up and give our guys some competition. So I think it's gonna be a wild ass team we just are not even considering right now.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not a GM, so, and I'm not a head coach, but I personally wouldn't put my job on Shedeur. I would find another quarterback that's a little bit more league ready, like a Will Howard, like a Quinn Ewers. Daniel Jeremiah, he's one of those guys who don't miss.
I do like Daniel Jeremiah. That's why I brought him up, because he's usually pretty accurate with this stuff. And so yeah, I mean, damn, Shedeur Sanders. How about that king of content? I mean, every show's been talking about him. We just talked about him for a good 15, 20 minutes probably right there. I mean, the guy, if nothing else, he's worth a chat. He's way more than Bronny. So here we have it. Finally, we make our way to the NFL mock draft portion of the show. Daniel Jeremiah always got his ear to the ground. Former scout, former employee of at least the Ravens and the Eagles. I don't know if he worked for any other teams, maybe the Chargers. But he's always got good stuff, good intel. This is his mock draft 4.0. He's got some trades here. He's got the Steelers taking Shedeur Sanders. So let's go ahead and get right into it. He has Tennessee taking Cam Ward. That seems locked and loaded. I hope Tennessee doesn't take very long. Wait until the last fucking seconds to get it in or whatever. They just get it in and we can get on with the Cleveland pick.
You know what would be crazy? If they say, you know what, we're gonna rock with Will Levis and we're gonna take Travis Hunter.
Or they last minute sign Aaron Rodgers and say, "Well, wait till next year."
I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be a Steeler. I think that if the Steelers sign Aaron Rodgers, I do believe that could deter things for Shedeur.
Right. Yeah. If they sign Rodgers, he could really fall.
This is this. I don't like that. I don't like Travis Hunter going to Cleveland, because at that point your career is dead. You're gonna join what's his name out there in just collect a paycheck at this point because there's nothing. Cleveland is Cleveland. There's nothing good coming from Cleveland. They don't have a fucking quarterback. So who's gonna throw you the ball?
So that's the thing. I don't like it because if you take him this high, it means you're going to use him a wide receiver more than you probably should. Like, I think Travis Hunter should be a full-time cornerback with some occasional offensive
Receiver?
packages. Right.
Yep, I believe I agree. I
And this is gonna
100%
really fuck
agree.
that up.
Yeah, good. He gonna join every other fucking great player that's going to Cleveland and watch their career die because that's what's gonna happen.
And
Unless he somehow manages to get to 4 years and then peace out, which doubtful.
I think they really have something there in Cedric Tillman. You know, Jerry Jeudy started to come into his own last year when he had when Jameis was in there. He had some big games.
They had Jameis.
Right. Well, that's what I'm
Who do you
saying.
have
Like now you got Flacco back in the mix.
Fucking Flacco. Listen,
It's not perfect. I get that.
I think the miracle he had that year, he took them to the playoff. I think that was just a one-time deal. I don't believe he had any more in the gas tank. We saw a lot of that in Indy last year. I would know. So I don't. Yeah, I Travis Hunter. He's just your career is gonna die going into that division without a quarterback. Nah, you're dead. Him and Miles Garrett can join each other in being great players and never.
All he's gonna have to do is cover Jamar Chase and tackle Derrick Henry. That's not that big of a deal.
Exactly. My point fucking exactly. Cover Jamar Chase, tackle Derrick Henry, and deal with the fucking crash outs in Pittsburgh with DK Metcalf and George Pickens. Yeah, okay, great.
Maybe you want to fix receiver after all. So Giants here take Abdul Carter, and I wouldn't like to see that at all. I think that'd be pretty scary pairing him with Brian Burns and Kayvon Thibodeau. That reminds me of Strahan and Justin Tuck and Osi Umenyiora back in the day.
Kayvon Thibodeau came into his own last year.
Yeah,
and he made he made a lot of plays last year, and getting a guy like Abdul Carter, man, you talking about terrorizing.
Yeah,
and then who's their quarterback? Oh, you got Russ. So and you got Russell Wilson out there. I don't know, man. That there. If Russ can actually do something with his life, I think that'd be something.
They gave Darius Slayton that Saquon Barkley money, so it's all good in New York.
Stupid. Fucking Darius. I don't even know why he's still on the roster. That is. I would cut him. I would cut.
Because we should throw in a bit of dynasty chat as we're going through here. Yeah, Darius Slayton's a guy. He's gonna with that money. How could he not be a starter next year? He's gonna survive this draft, and he will be a starting wide receiver for the Giants next year. So just get ready, Darius Slayton owners. Yeah, one more season in you.
Fucking terrible.
Moving
I like the New England pick. I like they're going to show up, give Drake May some protection because he had problems last year. I would like if they would go like a receiver because I think they need one. But there was something I saw that Kayshon Boutte is available, so that might be something to watch, like for maybe to trade back into the first round.
And look, I understand Drake May needs protection, absolutely. But this is a team, like you said, that's lacking for weapons. They just brought in Stephon Diggs, and Hunter Henry's still on the roster. If you have a certain conviction about Tyler Warren, would it be so crazy? I understand he's not Kyle Pitts, but he's getting so much hype that to take him here would be a hell of a draft shakeup that would get people talking.
For sure. Yeah.
So moving on from Will Campbell, who really, the only knock on him that I've heard is that he's got shortish arms. Other than that, he's just pretty damn good tackle.
You can fix that. You can work with that.
Moving into Jacksonville, all of a sudden this is a thing. I hadn't heard this before. I heard Raiders. I heard a bunch of the longest time.
I heard the Cowboys at one point, but Jacksonville?
All of a sudden, there's these rumors that Jacksonville is ready to move on from ETN and Bigsby and go with the best player available here, and Ashton Genty.
Wasn't ETN was just good, 2 years ago?
Yeah. The
What
life
the
of a
fuck?
running back, man. The life of a
Life of a
running back.
goddamn that's a life of a running back in a poor fucking franchise.
Yeah, that's true too. It says, based on everything I've heard from talking to people around the league, the expectation is the Jaguars will pick either Genty or Ted McMillan here. I'll go with the higher rated player on my board.
I'm gonna lean towards Ted McMillan. I think they want to sure because they just let Christian Kirk go.
They traded him, yeah.
Yeah, so I think you have and then you got the kid from last year from LSU. So I think they go wide receiver because you gotta give Trevor Lawrence something to throw to.
Yeah.
Like you gotta give him some more weapons. And then you don't have what's his name anymore. Evan Ingram is gone. So
right.
I don't think they go running back. I think they might take the receiver instead. And then he falls to the Raiders, and then Raiders get their running back, even though the Raiders need receivers because they don't have nobody to do the ball to outside of Brock Bowers.
So yeah, dynasty wise, if you were hoping for something like I was out of Gabe Davis, coming back from that ACL in this season, or maybe you're a Parker Washington guy, you had him and he had quite a good stretch last year. So sounds like the Jags are ready to add another weapon and just totally crush the dreams of all of us Gabe Davis, Parker Washington people. But they do have De'Ami Brown. So you laugh. They signed him.
Yeah, one good playoff game.
Hey, they picked him up. They paid him money.
I wouldn't have paid him not, but he had one good game.
I know.
Anywho, it's the NFL. Anywho.
Moving into the Raiders with Genty unavailable, the Raiders decided to continue building at the line of scrimmage. I would assume Texas coach Steve Sarkisian gave his former boss, Pete Carroll, a strong recommendation on Banks. With Colton Miller seeking a new contract, Banks gives Las Vegas insurance at left tackle. In the meantime, he could play guard if needed.
But so he was injured a lot last season. He didn't play. I think the 2 times we played Texas, he didn't play.
Okay. Shit.
I know for sure the first game he didn't play. I'm not 100% about the second game, but I know for first he was injured. He was injured a lot last year, so we'll see how that play out.
We've got 3 tackles off the board here in the first 7 picks. Nothing new in the NFL draft.
3 tackles in the first 7 within the first. Jeez, that's a massive shakeup.
Premium position. So he says it's either going to be Membu or Tyler Warren. It comes down to Membu. Moving on to the Panthers here. This is a big surprise for me because I've been hearing nothing but Jalen Walker for the Panthers. So to see them take Mason Graham here.
They want to put him next to that big guy, the one who tore his ACL last season.
Derek Brown?
Yeah. They want to if they take him and put him next to fucking Derek, bro, you kidding me? Derek Brown's a problem.
And
to have him next to him, listen, they're gonna wreck shop. Yeah, I wouldn't do anything. I would take him if he's available. I'm taking him, and I'm fixing my defense line because defense was a big problem for them last year. The offense was fine.
Right.
The offense kept them in a couple games. They almost beat the Chiefs, and I don't want to bring it up, but they almost beat the Eagles. But yeah. This is why I don't believe the Saints are going to take Shedeur because what's his name is very close to retiring. Cam Jordan. He's I believe he's probably got like another 1 or 2 years in him, and then you're going to need somebody to replace him. You're going to need somebody like Michael Williams. This is why I believe they might skip because I think they might skip on Shedeur. I think this is why they're going to skip on Shedeur for that specific reason.
Moving on to the Chicago Bears at pick 10. I mean, the Cole Kmet slander has just been on fire. People do not give a shit about Cole Kmet. Tyler Warren's been drafted to them.
He's average, man.
Often.
He's an okay tight end. He's serviceable. That's the word they like to use.
That's fair.
He's a serviceable tight end. But I just Tyler Warren, I would take him over Cole Kmet. I'm just don't understand why they haven't re-signed Keenan Allen yet. That's what I don't get.
Why they had to what now?
Why not? Why not? Why haven't they re-signed Keenan Allen yet?
Oh yeah, he's out there. He is out there.
I'd bring it back. Why not?
It seems like they're going to add another weapon, whether it's Warren. Maybe they'll split Warren out, do something. I don't know. Moving into the 49ers, taking North Dakota State's Gray Zabel, the dark horse here, flying up the boards just like Cole Strange did, or what was it, Matt Mock, these guys who just these smaller schools and they play their ass off at the Senior Bowl and end up in their draft stock by like a full round.
I don't know. The Niners got a lot of other problems in offensive line. I don't know about that one. We're seeing that they just emptied their entire roster, so I don't know about that.
Moving into Dallas, Ted McMillan falls all the way to 12. He says, I could see the Cowboys trying to trade out of this pick, but if they stay at 12, they could be choosing between the top remaining wide receivers, North Carolina running back O'Marion Hampton, and Alabama guard Tyler Booker. So I
think, let's see. They got CD. I think because of the issues that they had last year with the receiver core outside of CD, I can see them. I can see them taking him here because you need a guy. You need a second option, and because a lot of the games, the defense was focused on CD Lamb most of the game, and the rest of your guys couldn't fucking make plays. So I can see them taking him at this position. Honestly, I would take him.
I've also been seeing Matthew Golden go to them quite a bit.
That too. I started seeing it, but me personally, you need a red zone threat. You need a guy. You need a big body guy that's going to get you those points when you hit that red zone. And Mag, he's good. He just I wouldn't take him there. I would if I can get him day 2, day 3. I would.
In a projected trade with the Miami Dolphins, even though the Denver Broncos picked up Evan Ingram, the Broncos here, Daniel Jeremiah has them trading up with the Dolphins to get to 13. He says, I believe Loveland is highly coveted by a bunch of teams, and it seems like the Dolphins would like to add more draft capital. Sean Payton has never been shy about being aggressive. The Saints traded up in the first round 4 times during his tenure as head coach. If he wants something, he usually goes and gets it. The signing of Evan Ingram would not preclude Denver from making an aggressive move for Loveland. So there you go.
Sounds about right.
Moving into 14, the Indianapolis Colts taking edge from Texas A&M Shamar Stewart. Your Atlanta Falcons. Yes. Here we go. How about that? Jalen Walker, the Georgia Bulldog, all the way. You got to love that.
Here's the problem. Here's the problem with this.
Okay.
Daniel Jeremiah clearly doesn't pay attention to Falcons history.
Oh, shit.
Falcons have never drafted a Georgia player. They've never drafted a Georgia player.
That's insane.
We always ended up signing them later in their career. We never draft Georgia players. So the problem I have with this pick is I don't see them drafting him. I see them going, like he said, James Pierce Jr. I also heard of another name, Mike Green.
Yep.
So as excited as this would make me, I would love for this to happen. But knowing the history of this Falcons team, they don't draft Georgia players.
Now,
that's just what it is.
Hang on here just 1 second. I hate to call you out right here live on the show, Nate. Who's this guy? Who's this guy? I believe he was a former Georgia Bulldog, my friend, who does Atlanta Falcons radio today.
That's one of like how many Georgia players? And he was a shit version. He was a terrible player. Why? Again, he was shit. He was terrible. No, sir. I'm not giving you DJ Shockley. I'm sorry. I am not giving you him at fucking all. Listen, of all the top fucking Georgia players that came out of college, AJ Green,
the guy literally does Atlanta football.
I'm not trying to hear that shit. The list of Georgia players that have come out of Georgia and this team has yet to draft him, and they've always been in position to take a Georgia player. They've always been in position, and they've never done it. So if he's available, I feel bad for him because they're not going to take him. They're not going to take Jalen Walker. I just don't. If they do it, it would shock the shit out of me. But I feel like they're going to look at a James Pierce or Mike Green or someone. If the guy from Texas A&M somehow is available, I believe they're going to look at him instead.
Okay.
We have problems. We have problems with that shit. It bothers me.
Moving into the Cardinals at 16, they take Emeka Ibuka to pair with Marvin Harrison Jr. That'd be pretty sweet.
I don't know why. Fucking Kyler Murray can't get the fucking ball time. I'm sorry.
The Bengals at 17 take edge from Boston College, Donovan Ezeraku. He says Ezeraku is a skilled pass rusher with some similarities to Trey Hendrickson, whose future with the team remains murky. Oh boy. New York Giants making a move here. So Daniel Jeremiah has the Giants trading up to 18 with the Seattle Seahawks to select quarterback Jackson Dart after taking Abdul Carter with the 3rd pick overall. I got to admit, I mean, this is kind of a nightmare for Eagles fans already here. The Giants get a fantastic edge player and a quarterback in the same round. That would be well, I mean, then again, like we're not expecting this guy to start year 1, right? I mean, you got to imagine.
Nah, not with Russ and Jameis ahead of him. No.
Yeah.
You bring him into a room with Jameis Winston and Russell Wilson, he's going to get a lot of. He's going to learn a lot. But I think here's what I think. I think the Giants are going to not make the playoffs again. They're going to fire the GM, which they should have fired his ass after Saquon won a Super Bowl. They fired his bitch ass a long time ago. And then they're going to take the head coach out. I think if they're not going to make the playoffs this year, they're going to fire the head GM. They're going to fire the head coach. They're going to clean house. And then at this point, he may actually have an opportunity to actually play. But as long as Russ is there, I don't think so.
Yeah, that'd be a big shakeup here. It says the Giants and Browns are both candidates to trade back into the first round with the goal of moving ahead of QB needy Steelers. I've heard talk about the Seahawks looking to trade out of round 1, so this pairing makes sense. New York would get its QB, and Seattle GM John Schneider would be armed with a boatload of day 2 picks after this trade. There's a belief in league circles that the Giants view Dart as a better fit than Shedeur Sanders. Moving on to...
I'm not the only one saying this shit. I'm not the only one saying it.
Definitely not.
I'm the only one. Like, everybody's saying this shit. Shedeur is a day 2 guy. Like, people don't get it. He's a day 2 guy. He's not a day 1 person. If you take him day 1, you're going to fuck your franchise. Because guess what? If he doesn't work out, you assed out for 4 years. So then you're going to be looking like the fucking Titans with Will Levis. You got to make sure you go for the right thing. Even if that's just saying, you know what? Like the Steelers. We're going to take Aaron Rodgers. We're going to sign Aaron Rodgers, and that's what it's going to be. That's where we're going to stick, and we're going to work till next year. I'm not taking Shedeur. Not at least not day 1.
Hey, when did this whole Will Levis sex tape thing happen? Has this been out for a while?
That's the first fucking time I've heard about a sex tape with Will Levis. The only thing I've ever heard about him is mayonnaise. You never heard a sex tape about Will Levis. Where the fuck that come from?
Yeah, I was listening to Doug Gottlieb's show on the way home, and I heard that Will Levis had a sex tape out, and the guy on national radio was like, "Oh yeah, it would put Kim K and Ray J to shame."
What the fuck? Never heard of it. I'm not even interested in looking at it.
My God.
Yeah, I'm no good with that. So,
Gia Duddy and Will Levis.
Nah, you view that in your private time. I'm okay with that. I prefer not to see Will Levis. I'm okay.
Okay, hang on though. I mean, let me pull this up because.
Oh God, Jesus.
Let's just say this guy. Well, I never expected Will Levis. Will Levis. Never expected Will Levis to have better taste than Shannon Sharp. Huh?
I mean, she all right.
Way better than that 19-year-old fucking freak with the tongue in
For
your eye.
sure. For sure. She's for sure a lot better than that. I agree with that.
Let's get back to business. Moving on to the
So-
Tampa Bay Buccaneers at night. Oh, what? Yep.
They take Matthew Golden. I like that. Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Matthew Golden. You got a guy who can take the top off your defense, put him in the slot, move him around. That shit would be a nightmare to see. And I wouldn't like to see it, but it'd be a nightmare.
And I mean, it does seem kind of crazy because they do have depth all the way down to like Jalen McMillan, like this says here. But you know, Evans and Godwin are pretty close to retirement, so it wouldn't hurt to have those guys lined up.
I think Mike Evans is. I think Mike Evans is like he probably got I probably got another year. So you already got your Super Bowl. You already got a couple records. Just sail off into the sunset.
So it looks
I
like
don't like Malachi Starks going to the Dolphins. It's a waste of talent.
It's breaking my heart here.
Yeah, it's a waste of talent and a waste of time. I don't think he should go there. I think I saw an article before we started the show that Baltimore was really looking at him to get him. So if they think the Dolphins are going to take him, I can see them jumping them to get him.
Now, do you think since they have not signed Justin Simmons back yet, that the Atlanta Falcons are in play for Starks or Amenyori? Either one.
We just signed some guy from Carolina.
Okay.
I would love I don't know why they didn't bring Justin Simmons back. I don't know it didn't make any sense to me to not bring him back. Maybe he's asking for too much money, but you didn't do a lot to get a lot of money. So I think your best game was against the Chiefs. So I'm not 100% sure as to why we didn't bring him back, but it's the Falcons. So they're known for ruining their fans' lives. So
moving on to 21, Shedeur Sanders finally taken by the Pittsburgh Steelers here in almost Aaron Rodgers-esque fashion when he had to wait that whole time in the green room for the Packers to finally take him. DJ says, "Oh, yep."
I don't see them doing this. I don't see them because if you bring in, you're looking at Shedeur starting because you don't have nobody. You have absolutely fucking nobody. So if you bring in Shedeur,
they got nobody, right?
So you bring in Shedeur, he's gonna have to start day one. He's gonna be a day one starter. You're gonna put him day one in that division?
Just face Myles Garrett and fucking
you don't have a run game. Najee Harris is gone.
Right.
You don't have a fucking run game. So I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. I would just sign fucking Aaron Rodgers. Because here's the thing, Aaron Rodgers said it's not for the money. He just wants a good situation. I don't think there's a better situation right now receiver-wise. You're talking about DK and George Pickens.
And he worked out with DK. Like, what are you doing, If your intention isn't to be there, then why are you wasting your time?
And I don't think the Steelers will make the same mistake that felt. You can say it's a mistake. It get panned out for us. I don't see them signing Aaron Rodgers and then drafting Shedeur.
Right.
So Aaron Rodgers probably won't get drafted by tomorrow, signed by tomorrow. So, I mean, at this point, it's very possible, but I wouldn't do it. Not now.
Yeah, Jeremiah says, I'm not convinced the Steelers will take Sanders if he's available, but if he doesn't go here, I'm not sure where he ends up. Mason Rudolph can provide a little bit of a bridge until Sanders is ready to go. This pick is a classic case of need meeting value. Oh, dang. Moving on to pick 22 here. This would be a hell of a pick for the Chargers. Pairing Travion Henderson with Najee Harris in that backfield. Certainly raise some eyebrows. If Harbaugh were to pass on two of his former Michigan pupils and Kenneth Grant and Will Johnson to take the Ohio State product. That said, Henderson might be too enticing here. He would be the Lightning to Najee Harris's Thunder, giving the Chargers an explosive running game.
I can see that.
Oh yeah.
What I'm not seeing is the best cornerback has yet to be taken.
Well, we'll see. Maybe the next few picks here. I take it you don't think Harrison's the best cornerback?
No. The kid from Michigan is way better.
The Packers take Maxwell Harrison, cornerback out of Kentucky. The Minnesota Vikings get lucky. I mean, Derek Harmon, I guess, has some medical issues possibly, but boy, what a player! And if he falls all the way to 24, the Vikings again. I mean, they've been drafting. They're like the NFC's version of the Ravens. I mean, they just draft
Jonathan Allen, John Hargrave. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
If they get the fuck out of here. If they get him as a what?
Be nuts. 25, the Houston Texans looking to shore up that offensive line that just fell apart at the end of the last season. They got rid of Laramie Tunsil. They got rid of Kenyon Green. And here they bring in Tyler Booker, offensive guard out of Georgia. I've heard nothing but good things about him. 26, the LA Rams take running back, even with Kyron Williams on the team, Omarion Hampton, and Blake Corum. So that'd be interesting if they took Hampton here.
That's gonna be a very interesting situation.
Yeah, that's the type of thing. I mean, Twitter would just light the fuck up, especially, all the draft. Jesus Christ, all the dynasty fantasy nerds would just.
You got to figure that out. How are we gonna play this?
You know what? I wanted to go back to Denver real quick.
Mm-hmm.
So if they did that, I mean, does that just completely kill Evan Ingram? Are you trying to trade him? Are you trying to hold on to him and see if maybe he can't, hold off the rookie for one season? Because you actually have Evan Ingram. So
no. So here's the thing: Sean Payton likes two tight end sets.
Okay.
He ran a lot of that with the Saints, especially when he had Jimmy Graham. They like to run that two tight end set. It helps them run the ball, especially because he likes to run the ball. It helps them run the fucking ball. And then it sets up the fucking bullshit play actions that for whatever reason your defense can't see, and they get beat for 6 every goddamn time it happens. So it's nothing. It's basic shit. So I think them taking him there, I wouldn't trade up to get him, but if you do, I think because like I said, he likes to run that two tight end offense.
Okay.
So and he couldn't do that last year. So now you get a guy like Evan Ingram, and you bring in this kid. Yeah, you can run that two tight end set, and then you'll have that option. We can run passing. We can run play action out of this. We can run a whole bunch of different things out of this set with these two guys.
So if this is the way it plays out, you're not going to be looking to immediately trade Ingram, is what you're saying?
Fuck no. Not if we just signed him. There's no need to trade him because you really don't have a lot of pass catchers in Denver. Outside of Courtland Sutton, who the fuck else do you have?
I'm just saying, if you're looking to trade him, I mean, I'll take him if you're looking to trade him.
That'd be a waste of money to sign him and then trade him. I think
if you're looking to trade him,
people be looking at you. Oh, you're talking about me.
Yeah, if you personally are looking to trade him in our dynasty league, I would take him off your hands.
Man, you're high as shit. I'm not trading Evan Ingram. I don't have listen. I am very depleted at positions. Okay, so I'm not trading nothing that I don't have to. So I have to revamp my offense. I have to revamp my team this year.
Yeah, it's I can't wait, man.
I think this is probably going to be the most offensive lineman to get drafted in the first round in a while.
Seems like it, yeah. Yeah, that's pretty.
If that's what he's predicting, that's going to be a lot of offensive linemen. Oh, yeah. But I believe it could happen because some of these teams they need it.
So the Ravens, as usual, break my heart and take someone that I'm hoping to fall to the Eagles like they do every year. Kenneth Grant, I think, would be a fantastic addition to the Eagles' defensive line, but he goes here to pick 27 with the Ravens. Pick 28, Donovan Jackson, just as Nate was saying, another offensive lineman goes off the board. The Lions have done a lot of homework on interior offensive linemen in this draft class. Jackson has been a riser throughout the evaluation process and would be the replacement for Kevin Zeitler. Jackson might not even make it to this pick, though. Washington Commanders go ahead and take Jahdae Barron, cornerback of Texas. He's your first cornerback.
Texas. What? Where's the kid from Michigan? What the fuck is going on? You telling me
he didn't run the 40? Nobody knows what's going on with his hamstring.
You telling me the best cornerback in this draft doesn't go to first round? That's diabolical.
I guess so. I was just listening to Lance Zierlein on Heed the Call with Dan Hansis and Mark Sessler. Shout out, man! I'm really just shouting out. And Lance was saying supposedly, Will Johnson didn't run the 40 at the combine. He said he was going to run it at the pro day. Didn't do that. Said he was going to run it at his personal workout and didn't do that either. So people, I guess, are worried about the old hammies.
Get the fuck out of here, man. I'm not trying to hear that shit, man.
This is two cornerbacks back to back and not your boy.
Back to back. And they're not great corners.
I've heard Trey Amos is getting some serious buzz as we go into this Thursday night.
He's got buzz, but again, they're not the best corner. And man, this is wild. This is the NFL for you.
So the Commanders take Barron. The Buffalo Bills take cornerback out of Mississippi, as we just said. Ole Miss, Trey Amos. The Kansas City Chiefs, my God, all these guys I love. One guy has not gone off the board there.
Another lineman, another offensive lineman going off the board.
This means to me, I've not seen, and I'm not going to go on to it next. Do you have any guesses as to who the Eagles pick is going to be?
It's got to be something defense. It has to be a cornerback. It has to be a cornerback.
I think I know exactly what it is.
It should be Will Johnson, but if it's not, it's going to be a corner. It's going to be something defensive because you lost. Your secondary is what the problem was. Like you still got your line, you still got your linebackers. I think you lost your corners. So I think they had to go corner. They had to, and I believe it's going to be Will Johnson.
It could be. I think it's going to be a guy who I haven't seen his name. I don't remember seeing his name yet. And this guy reminds me so much of Jalen Carter that it's actually crazy that he would still be available here. I guess there's some concerns about his attitude, a little bit of a diva, perhaps. I don't know anything about that, but that's what I'm hearing. But I'm thinking, Nate, that this is going to be defensive lineman from Ole Miss, Walter Nolan. So let's see if one of us is right here. Pick is... We're both wrong. Look at that.
Why would you go to a cat? Why would you take a linebacker? You have multiple. You have enough linebackers. That's a bad pick. That is a bad pick.
So DJ says the rules are simple with the Eagles. They take the best Alabama or Georgia player who falls into their lap. Campbell is my number 12 player. So he'd be a tremendous value at the end of round one. If not for the shoulder surgery, he'd be a lock to go much higher.
That's a bad pick. That would be a very bad pick, especially because your secondary is depleted.
I don't think this. I think so. Yes,
obviously he's gonna probably leave. He's gonna probably start next year, and then there's that talent falls off after that. You got Keely Ringo. But I think Keely Ringo's he's definitely a slot guy. He's not somebody you're going to put on the outside. If you do, make sure you got some safety over top. Listen, I watched him the time he was in Georgia. He would get beat a lot of times when he was in man coverage. If that pressure didn't get there, you leave him on the island. Just know it's going to be a big play.
Yeah, I do. I think they'll grab a corner at some point. I just don't think it's going to be.
That is wild. Dang it, Jeremiah. I'm a little disappointed in you, sir.
So watching Campbell, a little bit of Alabama. It's crazy how these guys who wear 11 all have like the same body type. Whether it's Abdul Carter or Walker, right? He wears 11. Does he wear 8?
13. Yeah, I know he had 11. No, he's 11.
Yeah,
Because
so he
Mikhail,
wears 11, and then
but I
Campbell,
think the
and they
other one,
all,
I think Jalen Walker had 13.
and then I
But
think
yeah,
they
I
all
mean,
do it because I'm pretty sure
but
Michael
you got
Parsons wears
to
11. So it's kind of
because if you look at that position in college, you do everything. You got to cover, you pass rush, so you have to be in peak shape to do what the fuck they do. So
well. I'm wondering if the idea here is Nakobe Dean is banged up right now. If we need a middle linebacker to start the season, perhaps Campbell could be that guy. And then when Dean's ready, you know, we're gonna need an edge at some point because we have Ojolari and Uche, but we don't exactly know if they're gonna pan out. So if they don't pan out, now we have insurance on the edge with Campbell who can rush the passer. So I don't mind it. I don't hate it. I'd rather see. It's crazy to me that Walter Nolan would completely fall out of the first round, but that is pretty interesting.
yeah, I'm ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow's like a holiday for us.
Absolutely.
So I'm excited. I'm excited to see what happens. I think they're gonna be. I think they're gonna be some trades. I don't think it's gonna be like last year's. Last year was kind of boring. I think there's gonna be because there's a lot of teams jockeying for certain positions and looking for specific players and positions, quarterback specifically. I think there's gonna be some early picks, some early trades. Because the Giants were I heard the Giants were willing to trade back, Cleveland's willing to trade back. So I think tomorrow's gonna be very, very, very interesting.
Oh yeah, no doubt. I know. So I know what stood out to you was the fact that Will Johnson wasn't in the first round.
That bothers me. And I don't like
What stood
Michigan.
out to
I
me?
hate Michigan.
Walter Nolan definitely stood out to me not being in the first round. Who's someone that you think wasn't in the first round here that could be like a trade up or someone who just fell out in this draft that you think actually is going to be in the first round besides Will Johnson?
I think, I think Jackson Dart could sneak into the first round for a team that needs a quarterback, like say the Saints or Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
I think Jackson Dart could easily sneak in to that because again, I believe that guy's better than fucking. I believe he's better than Shaduka. I just do. That's just how I feel about it. But I think a guy like Jackson Dart can get in. Oh, he's already in the first round. So it'd be him getting trading back in. So I believe something like this could happen. But you know, a team like the Saints who needs a quarterback or who doesn't, if the Saints pick an edge, that means they're gonna stick with Derek Carr unless they think that we can get our guy day 2 or day 3.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I believe I don't know if the Giants are going to get Jackson Dart, but I believe he can. I believe somebody else might for sure get him.
Yeah, I think a guy that could. I still think Milrow could be a guy who in this back half here,
I
somewhere
forgot he's
between.
not. That's another one who's not in there.
Yeah, I think Milrow could definitely go. Um,
Here's something that throw a wrench to this whole thing. Pittsburgh don't take Shador. They take Jalen Milrow.
right. Yeah, exactly.
That shit right there. You pair Jalen Milrow with George Pickens and DK Metcalf and whatever fucking running back you put in the backfield. I think you'll have a Ravens style offense, but with a guy who's comfortable being in the pocket. But he did a lot. He had to do a lot of running last year because that Alabama offensive line was
Yeah.
super.
Well, he can give them all the things that Justin Fields was giving them, and then you hope he can develop into just something more as a passer.
Yeah, I definitely believe. Yeah, I don't know. Tomorrow's gonna be a very interesting day.
Oh yeah. The only other guy I guess could be in here that I've been hearing first round buzz about is Jason Taylor's son, Mason Taylor from LSU, the tight end.
Yeah, he just popped. He just started popping up on my. I started seeing like articles and Bleacher started reporting on him. I hadn't seen too much about him.
Yeah.
But I mean, hell, your dad. Look who your dad was, sir. You got a lot to live up to.
Nate, I want to ask you. I mean, I was looking into old drafts, trying to figure out which ones really stuck out to me as like, like vibrant not just a few players. Like in the 03 draft, I remember really liking Carson Palmer and some other guys in that draft. I think Larry Fitzgerald was in that draft. But the 04 draft, I actually have more memories of, a little bit more vivid recollections of things. I remember Eli Manning getting selected by the Chargers and then almost immediately getting traded to the Giants because he didn't want to go there. So things like that. What are some draft, like what are some of the earliest draft memories you have, like big ones like that?
Julio Jones,
Oh,
one. For me, it was a shocker because just to see the amount of shit we gave up for him, but I mean, he panned out for us. It would probably be another draft memory. Probably taking Vic Beasley. And that was it 2015, I think 2014 draft. Whenever the fuck we took him, taking Vic Beasley, because he didn't pan out for us. And there were other guys that were available that we could have taken that was very, very that kind of turned out to be great players. And Vic Beasley's not even in the fucking league anymore. Yeah.
I remember thinking that Reggie Bush was the best college player of all time ever in the history of college football. And I was absolutely shocked that the Texans took Mario Williams instead of Reggie Bush that year in 06.
That shit continues to haunt them. That shit will continue to haunt that goddamn franchise. That is, I think every franchise has that what the fuck moment.
Oh, yeah.
And I think for sure that was a what the fuck moment.
Yeah. I know for the Eagles are never going to live down taking Jalen Reagor instead of Justin Jefferson. I know that.
I can tell you one we had. Takk McKinley. We traded up, draft that motherfucker.
I think he works at Costco now.
I'm sure he does. I would even say even just DK Metcalf. The fact that he fell that year, he fell so far that nobody wanted to take him. You mean to not a single soul. Not a single soul, and then he falls to the Seahawks.
Yeah.
No. That right there was surprising because that just tells me, like, what are you scouting? Like, who's doing the scouting?
Yeah.
Like, who's doing the scouting for these guys? Like, look at Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman fell to the 6th round? Like,
oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Like, you're fired. Get the fuck out of here. You're fired. You are fired. You told us he was not going to be good. Now look where he's at. He's an all-pro, multiple Pro Bowls, Super Bowl champion. Get the fuck out. You get fired.
And another thing I'm counting for history to repeat itself, after 2017 when the Eagles won the Super Bowl, that 2018 draft, there was a very athletic quarterback who may or may not go in the back of the first round. And the Eagles traded away that 32nd pick to the Ravens to select Lamar Jackson. And I'll be damned if it doesn't feel somewhat similar this year with Jalen Milroe possibly going in the back of that first round and the Eagles sitting there with that 32nd pick. So we'll see.
Yeah, we will see. It's going to be a very, very. The draft is always interesting. Oh, yeah. Last year was kind of shit, but the draft, it has its surprises, it has its up and down, it has something. But I hope it's more interesting. I believe it's going to be a lot more interesting because there are teams that need certain things, and I think they're going to make things happen. I would say for me, the heist of the century. And you know what heist I'm talking about?
Ricky Williams?
About your guy, huh?
Ricky Williams?
I'm talking. That fucking heist. That shit terrible. I saw a video and they listed out everything the Saints gave up for him. I was like, he said, and mind you, this is bothead. He was like, yeah, I wouldn't give that up for myself. But I'm talking about your fucking crime boss over there, Howie Roseman.
Oh, Howie.
Yeah, Howie's a fucking I don't know how he keeps finessing Tennessee.
It's nice when, I mean, every GM is a football fan. I get that to a certain extent, but it's nice when your GM just is balls deep in it, just loves to do it. You know, it's like, I don't know. I feel like every GM probably feels that way, but there's just something about Howie. He just keeps it.
He's a fucking crime, but he's a pimp. I'm sorry, he's pimping people. Like, there's no way I'm giving up AJ Brown for whatever the fuck you. What did y'all give them?
3rd round pick. Third round pick. Hey, do you remember what we traded Sam Bradford to the Vikings for? 1st round pick. I don't think he played the whole season.
This is what I'm saying. Howie Roseman needs to be investigated. Howie Roseman needs to be investigated. What is he? I'm sure he's Jewish because his last name sounds Jewish.
Yes.
Yeah, on my ass. Listen, this man has been finessing people for years. Okay, how the fuck do you get Sam Bradford for a 1st round draft pick? That's not fair. And then you get AJ Brown for a 3rd round pick, and then you still kept your first, and you still kept your day 1 pick.
That's something I wanted to bring that up earlier. I think if there is a chance for the Falcons to trade away Cousins, it will be through injury, because that's what happened to the Eagles. Teddy Bridgewater got injured that year, and the Vikings were like on the cusp of, you know, being that Super Bowl at least playoff team. So some QB goes down, and they feel like this team feels like, oh damn it, we're a quarterback away. Then that's when your Kirk Cousins window opens up.
We need to get a good GM.
How about this? There's a quarterback in Miami who has severe concussion problems.
Boy, Brady Swiss cheese right now.
So that would be pretty interesting if all of a sudden Miami needed a quarterback and Kirk Cousins is sitting right there.
I mean, if he goes to Miami, I mean, you know, Tyreek Hill might actually get to catch the ball. So Tyreek Hill, his fantasy owners may not want to, you know, shoot somebody in the kneecap because, you know, you think having Tyreek Hill after, you know, playing him every other year in fucking fantasy, he puts up, you know, all these points, and then you get him in. Yeah.
Speaking of
1 week, you get negative points.
Speaking of players who broke your heart, who were top rated, I heard good news about CMC today. Says he's feeling great. No.
Shut the fuck up. I'm not trying to hear that shit. You were feeling great last year, you bastard. What do you mean? You were feeling great. You were feeling great going into last season, and what the fuck happened? You don't play at all.
Yeah.
You missed the first 6 games, 12 games. Come back, play 2-3 games, and then you're out for the rest of the year. You bastard. I don't care about. You know what? I hope you got bone on bone in both of your knees, and them hoes just chip away every time you take a step.
So how will you be enjoying the draft tomorrow? At home, at work, on the TV, on your phone?
Fuck no. I'm gonna be at home. You know, the lady's gonna be here with me, but
nice.
She's gonna have to suffer through it.
You know, so they all do.
Yeah, and they all got to suffer through it.
That's right.
Just what happens. But yeah, I'm gonna be here, you know, watching it. I'm really hoping it's gonna be an interesting one. I would love if my team were to trade up out of the 15th spot to take somebody rather than just sitting there and hoping someone falls to us. I would like that. I just hate that we just sit around and, you know, we just sit and we wait.
Yeah.
Last year we got lucky because we were in the top 8. But this year we went we in the top 15, and shit gets really it gets real slim pickings at that point, especially at the edge position.
No doubt. Well, again, a big salute to Grady Jarrett. It's been a great career for the old Atlanta Falcons. It was tough to see you go, but
You know what? It wasn't that tough to see him go. It was harder to see Julio leave and Matt Ryan leave than to see Grady leave, because here's the thing with Grady. Grady wasn't that great. People were trying to hype him up to say, "Oh, he's no. Let's not do this." Grady did not disrupt a lot of offense. He was getting his ass whipped repeatedly. If you watch the games, you would see him get whipped a lot. In one-on-one, not double team, triple team. He was getting his ass whipped one-on-one. They were trying to say he was like Aaron Donald. No, he wasn't even close. He wasn't even a third of Aaron Donald.
oh, Grady.
Mm-mm.
Well,
So I don't know. I don't know what this year's gonna look like with Jeff Ulbrich as our new defensive coordinator. We're gonna need someone that's really dynamic on the edge. So Jalen Walker, Michael Williams, if he somehow falls to us. I gotta check out this Mike Green, because I keep seeing his name. I've seen him on a couple of other mock drafts. I gotta check out, see who he is. If we can get a guy like what's his name, that Pierce kid from Tennessee,
yeah.
that would be nice. But I don't like rushers that are 4.4 fast, because that means you don't have a lot of, you just speed. There's not a lot of power there. There's not a lot of other, all you have is speed, and if you don't have power, you're gonna get your ass whooped by the right tackle or the right guard. So it doesn't matter.
And that is the knock on him, that he's just a speed guy. So
it's not a knock, but at some point
it is. That's what I'm saying. That's what the people
you said
are
it
saying.
is a knock. Yeah. I mean, if that's all you got, because I mean, you get the right tackle or the right guard there to catch your ass, where you gonna go?
That's right.
He's just gonna hold you up. So I don't know. We're gonna see. I hope we missed out on Will Anderson. We missed out on he's in Minnesota now. We missed out on that kid last year. So there's a lot of edge rushers, a lot of good ones. So hopefully we make the right choice.
Oh, Turner, yeah.
Yeah, so hopefully we make the right choice.
I don't know if I like lo-fi anymore. It's sometimes nice for the end. We'll see. I'll probably switch it up. Nate, can't wait, man. It's been real. Thank you so much for taking all this time to chat with me about the NFL draft tomorrow, 2025 NFL draft. I believe it's at 7:30. Sounds right.
Yeah, probably 7. I think it's about 7:30, because it usually runs about 3 hours.
Yeah.
So yeah. So I don't know how the fuck you make 32 picks last 3 hours, but they somehow manage it.
They do.
Because the rest after that, day 2 and 3 goes by like that.
Yeah.
32 picks is out the window.
Yes, sir. Well, MFers, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the NFL draft. Hope it works out for you. Stay tuned with Mostly Football on the follow-up to find out about how all your dynasty players, everything got shaken up, and who survived and who's dead in the water now, and all that sort of stuff. So be sure to come back for the follow-up. Enjoy the draft the next Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Hope you had a great Easter, and we will see you next time. Peace.